What is going on to all my Gamecock fans out there, and welcome to Touchdowns to Home Runs. I'm your host, Noah. We got a big football game this weekend, big basketball game too. But the whole talk of anything Gamecock sports right now is the Gamecocks head football coaching search that is going on right now. We are expected to find out who our next head coach is sometime early next week. That could be on Sunday, that could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. That's the expected time right now. We know that there's basically two guys who are a shoo-in to be our head coach. It's either one of the two. One is former Gamecocks coach Shane Beamer. The other is current Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns head coach Billy Napier. Billy Napier has a face-to-face interview with Ray Tanner, with Caslin on Saturday, at least from what I've heard from reports and everything. Louisiana plays tonight against Appalachian State. So, lots of things. From the beginning of the week, the mood that shifted from the beginning of the week to now. At the beginning of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, I thought for sure Beamer had this in the bag. Like, this was his job. All the alumni are coming out and saying, we want Beamer, we want Beamer. So many other people have said Shane Beamer is basically a lock to go in as South Carolina's head coach. But now all of a sudden that's kind of shifted. It's kind of 50-50 now. I honestly have no clue who we could hire. I can see both guys being a head coach at South Carolina. Lots of pros to each one of them. And I think that they could take us to a good spot. The big question is, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Shane Beamer or is it going to be Billy Napier? And in this video, I'm just going to go through some of the pros of each guys, maybe some of the cons, and then say overall who I want to see as the Gamecocks head coach. Now, before straight off the bat, there's nobody that I'm going to complain about if we hire them now, unless we bring back Will Muschamp, which isn't going to happen. By the way, I have nothing personal against Will Muschamp. I just watched the new Hayden Hurst documentary, little story that the Falcons did last night. That was amazing. If you haven't watched that, definitely go check that out because it is an amazing story. And he was talking about how Will Muschamp was there for them through his whole journey and everything. So big respect to him. I just don't want to see him coaching us anymore. Nothing against him. He's an amazing guy. Just coaching. We all know what happens. So I'm not going to be against. If we hire Beamer, I'm going to be happy. If we hire Napier, I'm going to be happy. And just before we get into talking about more about those two, guys, I've just dropped a new Carolina shirt. It's been a while since I've dropped a Carolina shirt, and I was like, you know what, for this video, it's Friday. Let's make a fun new shirt. And I got a Never Lost a Tailgate shirts out right now on my store. Either click the little notification that just popped up or hit the link in the description. Only $15 right now. We got those in 4 different colors. We got them in garnet, black, white, and gray. I'd rather sell a ton more of these t-shirts than make a huge profit off of them. I'm not really about profit right now. I take pride in people buying my designs and everything. So if you could do me a favor, support this channel and support your Gamecocks. Even though the football season was rough, even though we didn't win very many games, we lost a bunch of games. We never lose a tailgate. Get your Ain't Never Lost a Tailgate shirts right now in my store. So let's get back to this Billy Napier and Shane Beamer contest going on right now. By the way, stay alert because I have a whole line of new merch coming out for Gamecock fans. No matter who gets hired, whether it's Beamer, whether it's Napier, whether it's some other guy, I got a ton of new cool shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, long sleeve tank tops. I got it all. It's going to be exciting, so definitely subscribe if you haven't already and stick around for that. Also, something I'm trying to do, Gamecock fans, if you're a Gamecocks fan, I want to create a new Gamecocks logo. I did that for Florida. I did that for the Florida Gators, and I have some merch up with that logo in the store. Tell me what you'd like to see for a new Gamecocks logo. If you had to make a new Gamecocks logo right now, tell me what you'd like to see because I'm really interested. I'm going to design one, make some merch of it, make some shirts, hoodies, whatever, and just see how it sells because I love graphic designing, so that's just something cool I like to do. Napier versus Beamer. Let's get into it. First off, Shane Beamer. Pros of Shane Beamer, already been in the program. We know that. He was there during the golden ages of Carolina football under Steve Spurrier, so he knows what it's like to win at South Carolina. He's been in the program at a good time. He wasn't there in 2015, 2016, all of those crappy years. He was there back when we had Spurrier, back when the Gamecocks were the Gamecocks, back to a level that we want to get to, but even higher than that. We want to get higher than that. We want to make it to Atlanta. We want to win the SEC championship. There's so many things we want to do. What I'm trying to say here is Beamer has been a part of that program. Another positive about Beamer that I really like is he's worked around all three factors of football, both sides of the ball, many different levels. He's coached tight ends, he's coached quarterbacks, wide receivers. He's done a lot of running backs, special teams, outside linebackers, cornerbacks, and he's coached everywhere around the ball. So he's got a good knowledge base around the field in total. And one thing I really like about him is that he's worked with running backs a lot recently, and his running backs have done very well. He worked with running backs at Oklahoma and Virginia Tech. Look at who the Gamecocks have at running back for the next couple years. You have the leading rusher in the SEC this year, Kevin Harris, who's come out and been an absolute stud. And then you also have a guy who didn't play this year, but we all know his name and we all love him already because we know he's an absolute freak of nature in Marshawn Lloyd coming back from an injury next year. You're going to have two all-star running backs paired up with the coach who's an expert in coaching running backs. I think that's really exciting for Carolina, and I think that will help Shane Beamer's case. Another pro to Shane Beamer, reports are that he has been asking less than Napier has. He's like, I want to ask for less so I can pay more to my offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, whatever that is. I really like that move because you got to build a good staff. It's not all about the head coach hire. Part of the head coach hire is who are you going to hire under you to be able to go out there and win ball games on both sides of the ball. So I think I really like that move from Shane Beamer, how he's talking about asking for less money so he can go and get a proper staff on this team. The big con that everyone does not like is that he's never been a head coach before. And for you to start straight out as the head coach of an SEC team is a bit crazy in some of your minds. That's the biggest con right now. That's what has everyone really stirred up, that he's never actually been a head coach for a team. So we don't know how proven and successful he could be as being the lead guy for a team. And to go from the tight ends coach, the special teams coach at Oklahoma, to the head coach of South Carolina, many feel is too big of a leap, that it's just too much of a risk to take. So that is the biggest con right now for Shane Beamer. Going on to Billy Napier, he's been a head coach. He's coaching a top 25 team right now in Louisiana Lafayette. They are having a really good season. I remember I watched their first game of the season against Iowa State. They upset Iowa State, who's now like the 9th best team in the country. So Louisiana Lafayette, he's got a team. He made something out of nothing. They are not a program at all that you're like, oh, Louisiana Lafayette, you better watch out for them this year. Not even in the group of 5 do they talk about, oh, Louisiana Lafayette, you got to watch out for them this year. They're going to be good. They're the powerhouse, blah, 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 blah. Even in a group of 5, you have UCF, you have Cincinnati. App State's usually a pretty good team. Boise State, BYU, sometime a really good team, especially this year. You got teams like that who are pretty much the big boys in the group of 5. You don't talk about Louisiana Lafayette. And they're a top 25 team right now. They're a team in the Sun Belt that not many teams want to play at all. App State, I wonder what happens in that game. I'm definitely going to go watch that because I want to see more of Billy Napier and his coaching style. I've watched one game already of Louisiana Lafayette, and I can't wait to watch another one tonight. It's going to be a good game. So Napier has that head coaching experience. I think that's one of the bigger pros over Shane Beamer that a lot of people are going to argue, especially a lot of the Billy Napier people who want him to come in are going to say, well, Napier's been a head coach and he's won at this school. He's made something out of nothing. The only argument that the Beamer people would have on that is, yeah, you won, but you won at Louisiana Lafayette in the Sun Belt. You think that you could just jump from being a successful team in the Sun Belt to making South Carolina a successful team in the SEC? The big boy in that conference is App State. The big boy in this conference is Alabama. Big, big, big difference there. So that's going to be one of the main arguments in this whole battle. One thing I do like about Billy Napier is that he used to coach at Clemson and he used to coach at South Carolina State. So he's kind of got a feel for the whole area, for the whole recruiting battle and everything on the South Carolina ground. So does Shane Beamer, because he used to be a recruiting coordinator for us. So both of those guys, that's a pro. They know the area pretty well. They've been here before. By the way, Shane Beamer is actually from Charleston, South Carolina. But Billy Napier, I feel like the fact that he used to work for Dabo Swinney is going to motivate him even that much more to go out and beat Clemson. He's also worked under Nick Saban, which I don't care about the whole Nick Saban thing. If you worked under Nick Saban, that's great for you. But you're not Nick Saban. It's not going to work. You want to know a stat? No coach, no former employer of Nick Saban's, no assistant under Nick Saban has ever beaten him in a game. Never. It's never happened. So why would you settle if you know that stat? You're going to be like, oh, I'm just going to hire a guy under Nick Saban because he's probably like Nick Saban. No one's ever beat him. So at best there, you're just settling to make it to the SEC championship and lose to Alabama because no one's ever beat him. He's progressed in a very good way his whole career in college football. The game has changed. Back when Billy Napier, back when Will Muschamp, back when Kirby Smart, all those guys used to work under Nick Saban, the game of college football was so much different. That's why, in my opinion, the Nick Saban thing has no value in this coaching decision. That has nothing negative on Billy Napier. It has nothing positive. I don't care about that he coached under Nick Saban. I just don't. He has been in a winning program. He has been under Dabo Swinney, same thing. He's not going to be Dabo. It's just not going to happen. But I do like that he has been at Clemson. He knows the grounds, the recruiting grounds, and everything. And I feel like that will help just motivate the team even more. He's a guy that's going to go out there and want to beat Clemson. The con really for Billy Napier is the money. I heard he's asking for $5 million a year, something like that. Apparently, the cost is going to be negotiable this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, when they meet up. They're going to talk over the price because we don't know how much he's asking for his assistant coaches. We don't know all that different stuff. So it's going to be interesting. The money is going to be there. And just, I feel like there's something about Billy Napier that just doesn't feel right in South Carolina, if that makes sense. I'd be happy nonetheless if we hire him. But just the fact that I know all the players are only coming out for Shane Beamer because he used to coach for them and everything. You have a guy in Shane Beamer who's from South Carolina. He's coached with the team before in a very good time. He knows the recruiting grounds because he used to recruit here. I feel like Shane Beamer's the guy. I honestly do. Take a shot. I don't care who you take a shot on. At this point, the Gamecocks, whatever happened this year, honestly, it couldn't get worse. If we go 0-12 next year, so be it. We went 2-8 this year. Those 2 wins, all they did for us Gamecocks fans was get us hyped for an LSU game that we went out and destroyed the rest of the season for us. It just wasn't consistent. It just made us feel worse, those 2 wins. So honestly, if we go 0-12 next season with the new coach, whoever it is, it's not going to really be a difference. So just go out and take a risk on the guy. I want the guy, whether that's Napier, whether that's Beamer, whether that's Chadwell, whether that's Sarkisian, whether that's Joe Brady, whether that's Hugh Freeze, whoever it is we hire, even though a bunch of those guys are pretty much out of the picture now. I want the guy who is going to make South Carolina football great again or make it exciting again. I want the guy who is going to make Williams-Brice Stadium a place that you have to be every single Saturday. It's not a place that you want to be. It's a place that you have to be because you are going to miss something unbelievable if you are not sitting in Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday night, whatever it is. I want to see a packed stadium. I want to see 80,000, even 85,000 plus at Willie B. Who cares? Pack some general admission in there. Have some standing room, whatever it is. Pack Willie B. I want someone who's going to do that. I want someone who's going to make every single game day exciting. I want someone who's going to make Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee start to be worried. I want them to go into the games against South Carolina and be like, we got to suit up for this one. I want to see 2 or 3 CBS games for the Gamecocks every single year. I want to see us in Atlanta. I want to see us win the SEC. I want to see us in a New Year's Six Bowl. I want to see us in the playoff. I want to see us in the national championship. I want to see us win the national championship. There's a lot of things I want to see. Obviously, you're going to have to build somewhere to get to some of those points, but I don't think I'm asking for too much when you look at some of those things. Pack the stadiums, make Carolina football exciting, do all of those things, and then the rest will build. The momentum and everything, the recruits will start coming in. The team will start getting better, and soon we'll get to that point where you start to see the Gamecocks starting to play a lot more 3:30 games. You start to see the Gamecocks get a lot more attention on College Game Day and everything. Maybe you see a return to College Game Day in Columbia. That would be amazing. I would love that. I think that's something that definitely should be. I don't necessarily think that coaches circle that as a goal on their schedule, but when you get College Game Day, you know it's because your team is something special and it's going to be a meaningful game. I'd love to see Game Day come back. I'd love to see some more CBS games. I just want all these things, and whoever it is, even though I said right now I want Beamer, I'd be completely fine with Napier. No question about it. I'd be fine with anyone as long as they are able to do those things for me. I'd be fine with them. So that's my video for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Definitely go check out those shirts on my store right now. Stay tuned for my coaching reaction when we finally release who we get at coach. I'm going to have a whole merch line out, and I'm going to have a reaction video. I already had that planned out. So definitely stick around. Thank you for watching, and come back next time.